Kyle Richards just pulled back the curtain on how the Real Housewives sausage really gets made, confessing that producers manipulate the cast, write down every private confession, and feed it back to them on camera. But here's the twist that makes this so juicy. While Kyle is exposing the producer's power, there's a growing accusation that the person with the real power on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is Kyle herself. Dorit Kemsley flat out claimed Kyle has the power to get anyone off the show. An insider says the other women are afraid of her, and Kyle admitted she's been there so long she now refuses to do the producer's dirty work. So who's actually pulling the strings on this show? Let's break it all down. Let's get into it. Let's start with what Kyle actually confessed, because it's a genuinely rare look behind the scenes. In a new Hollywood Reporter roundtable, Kyle sat alongside Vicki Gunvalson, Gazelle Bryant, and Portia Williams, and they collectively confirmed what fans have suspected for 20 years: the producers manipulate the drama. When asked how producers get authentic housewives to deliver compelling storylines, Kyle explained it starts with the cast becoming extremely close with production. She said, "They're your friends, your family, you're endlessly spilling your guts at them, and they are writing it all down, and that's the trap. Because those private conversations become on-camera ammunition." Kyle explained, "The next thing you know, they will ask you, 'Why don't you guys talk about what you're feeling right now?' And I'm like, I can't even lie, because I already told them what I was feeling." So the producer becomes your confidant off-camera, you spill your heart out, and then on-camera, they nudge you to bring up that exact feeling, and you can't backpedal, because they already know the truth. Kyle summed it up. "That's why we open up our lives and reveal everything. We give them what they need from us." And the women were blunt about where the producer's loyalty actually lies. When asked whether production is loyal to them or to the show, the consensus was clear: it's the show. Always the show. The friendship feels real, but the machine comes first. Now here's where it gets interesting, because Portia Williams revealed the cast isn't totally powerless. She said, "We do negotiate though. There may be a moment where there is something you don't want to say right then, and you can bargain with them a bit." She explained she'll tell producers, "I'm not ready today for this, but I'm going to give you this instead." So it's a trade the producers push for content, and a savvy housewife can barter emotional currency, giving up one thing to protect another. But Kyle revealed something that goes way beyond negotiating. She revealed she's now powerful enough to flat out refuse. And this is the detail that reframes everything. Kyle explained how producers try to get housewives to bring up off-camera drama once it hits the tabloids. She said, for example, say something bad comes out on TMZ about a cast member. It's fair game. Someone has to ask them about it. So they may come to me and I'll say, "You need to get some other sucker to do this. I'm sorry, I've been here too long. I am not bringing that sit-up with her." Think about what that actually means. The producers come to Kyle to be their weapon, to be the one who drops the bomb at dinner. And Kyle, after 15 seasons, has enough power to say no. Get some other sucker. A newer housewife, desperate for screen time, would jump at that chance. Kyle turns it down. That's not the behavior of someone being manipulated. That's the behavior of someone with leverage. And that leads us to the explosive accusation hanging over all of this, that Kyle Richards isn't just a cast member, that she's essentially management. During the season 15 reunion, Dorit Kemsley was asked what it is about Kyle that makes people want to please her, and Dorit's answer was jaw-dropping. She said she has the power to get anyone off the show. Get anyone off the show. That is an accusation that Kyle has hiring and firing influence, that she can end a castmate's job. And an insider went to Reality Blurb to back Dorit up. They said what Dorit's saying about Kyle having influence on people's positions on the show is true. Look at how things have gone over the years. And then they dropped the really damning part. People are finally starting to figure out that's why Sutton and Erica are always kissing up to her. They don't agree with her and everything she says. It's more that they're afraid of her. The insider noted that Kyle has been treated as an unofficial executive producer of RHOBH, and that this has always been a thing. So put those two things together, Kyle admitting she she can refuse the producer's requests because she's been here too long, and the accusation that she has the power to get people fired. Suddenly, a picture emerges that's very different from poor Kyle, manipulated by producers. The picture is, Kyle is the last season 1 original standing, she's been treated as an unofficial producer for years, and she has genuine institutional power that the other women fear. Now, is that true? Let me be fair, because there are two sides. On one hand, the evidence is compelling. Kyle is the longest standing consecutive cast member in franchise history. She has survived 15 seasons, while dozens of women have come and gone. She openly admits she can say no to producers, and multiple sources describe her as having producer-level influence. When you're the OG who's outlasted everyone, of course you accumulate power. That's just how longevity works. On the other hand, Kyle has never confirmed she can get people fired, and unofficial executive producer is a title fans and insiders assign, not an official role. It's entirely possible her power is really just seniority, and relationships the natural clout of being the veteran everyone knows Andy Cohen trusts. There's a difference between Kyle has real influence because she's the OG, and Kyle can pick up a phone and end your career. The truth is probably somewhere in between real influence, but maybe not the almost mythical firing power Dorit described. But here's why Dorit's accusation matters so much in context. Because remember the situation between these two. Dorit and Kyle's friendship exploded in season 15, and Dorit is the one whose spot on season 16 has been questioned. So when Dorit says Kyle has the power to get anyone off the show, she may be doing more than making an observation. She may be publicly suggesting that if she gets cut, it'll be Kyle's doing. That's a preemptive strike. It's Dorit planting the idea that Kyle controls who stays and who goes, so that if Dorit's the one who goes, the audience knows who to blame. And this all connects to Kyle's other big confession in that same interview, her biggest regret. Because Kyle also reflected on 15 years of the show and named the moment she'd take back. It was the infamous season 1 scene in the back of the limo with her sister Kim Richards. Kyle said, "In season 1, in the back of the limo with my sister, the world saw a traumatic family dynamic. I still get teary watching it. Would never handle it that way today." She said if she could do it over, "I wouldn't lunge at Kim in the limo." Kyle knows better than anyone how the machine turns real pain into content, because her own most painful family moment became the show's most famous scene. So here's where I land on all of this. Kyle Richards is telling the truth about producer manipulation. That part is real, and every housewife across every franchise has confirmed some version of it. But Kyle is a fascinating messenger for that message, because she may be the single most powerful cast member in Housewives history. She's not just a victim of the manipulation machine. After 15 years, she's become part of it. She can refuse producer requests. She has influence others fear, and whether or not she can literally get people fired. The perception that she can is itself a form of power, because if Sutton and Erica are kissing up out of fear, then Kyle controls the room whether she has an official title or not. The real story here isn't producers manipulate the housewives. We knew that. The real story is that after a decade and a half, one housewife accumulated enough power to sit at the same table as the people pulling the strings. Kyle Richards started as a cast member being manipulated like everyone else, and she ended up as someone the manipulators come to for help and someone her castmates are allegedly afraid of. In a franchise built on manufactured drama, that might be the most real power move of all. Do you think Kyle really has the power to get people fired, or is Dorit just deflecting? Pop off in the comments, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!